here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. The best Protoss player in all of Europe. He's here representing the foreign scene, the Europeans, the North Americans, the non-Koreans, up against the Korean himself. RagnaroK once again going for a 15 hatch. You can see here he has lost a couple of minerals because he did cancel a hatchery, 6 minerals down the drain. Sorry, he did cancel the gas geyser. Apologies, and there we go. So this is typically for a 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool, but if you remember when we casted RagnaroK versus Nightmare, he went for a different variation. He went for a 15 into his Overlord into a gas into a gas follow-up instead. So an interesting variation here out of RagnaroK is technically a hatch gas pool. That's the downside of the 15-15, is that your gas is very delayed when you go for a 15-15. So yeah, he's gonna be getting a faster gas here instead for a faster link speed. So a little bit safer here from RagnaroK. As back at home, MaxPax is going for a gate expand. Very economic opener out of our Protoss player. Also, yes, I saw that on Twitter. I haven't watched it yet. But for those wondering, in the Twitch chat, there is a link to a YouTube video where Fear Dragon and KJ is the owner of Storm Gaming. Shout out to KJ, old mate Carl. Love for KJ. But yeah, the two of them, they interviewed MaxPax. I did see that on Twitter. I haven't watched the video yet. I haven't tuned in myself, but I've heard that it's good. Heard that it is good. Shout out to Fear Dragon and KJ for making that content for us, for allowing us to get a bit of better insight into MaxPax as a person, as a player, as a Protoss. Thank you. Shout out to Fear Dragon. As RagnaroK is working on that link speed, pulling out a gas immediately, getting his natural up and running. Back at home, MaxPax is going for a Stargate opener. Oh boy. Okay, so everything's looking pretty normal here. So it was a gate expand into the Stargate for MaxPax. Should be for Oracle play. Should be for that hero style of Oracles and Blink Stalkers. Now, Dragon Scales isn't a bad map for something like an 8-gate all-in. We saw that 3-base 8-gate all-in from Nightmare. That was the game that he was able to take out of RagnaroK. Again, Dragon Scales' rush distance by ground is very short, so you can go for those more aggressive styles. We'll see if MaxPax is one to adopt that. For now, just going to be chilling back at home, just droning for the most part. Link speed about to kick in. The first Oracle is on the way. And behind this first Oracle, MaxPax should be looking to expand. The other added thing that's pretty interesting is that MaxPax, he didn't move out with his first Adept. It's something that some Protoss players like to do. They send out their first Adept. Eventually, they send out their second Adept, and they focus on harassing across the map. MaxPax, he's playing this out very safe. Very safe. He doesn't send anything out. And is more concerned with expanding. And taking his third. Oh! Ooh. Good pick off. RagnaroK is going to be delaying the third base. Does get a kill in that probe. Does get the kill. Meanwhile, the Oracle is busy dealing with that Overlord. Third base is eventually going to be taken, but just delayed here for MaxPax. Across the map, we have our fast Evo chamber. This should be for +1 melee for RagnaroK. +1 melee should be on the horizon. MaxPax is actually stopping Oracle production. Okay, so he's only going for a double Oracle opener into faster tech. Oh, no, there we go. There's that third Oracle. No, never mind. Third Oracle's on the way. We do have 2 Adepts shading into the natural base. 2 drones go down, but only 2 workers, as the Queens are able to keep up with these Oracles. MaxPax unable to take advantage of the chaos that was happening here at the natural. As he's looking for more damage, doesn't find any in the main either. Lings are going for a counterattack. Adepts are back at home. So RagnaroK doesn't find too much damage, but he confirms that the third is being taken. He confirms that MaxPax isn't going for a 2-base all-in. As we have that forged and a Twilight Council on the way. So because of that forge, this shouldn't be a setup for an 8-gate like we saw from Nightmare. RagnaroK, he's looking for more of a mid-game composition. As his aggression is not stopping, the Adepts are arriving, the Oracles are here as well. Looking to at least clean up all the creep in between the bases. Gonna be making it harder for RagnaroK to engage. Oracle dips into that third base as well. 2 drones go down. MaxPax really testing the multitasking here of RagnaroK. So far, RagnaroK has been keeping up. The Oracles, they dive into the main base, but oh, Queens were waiting for him. Oracle almost goes down. Meanwhile, the Adepts get surrounded as well. That Shade was a little bit delayed. Oh, we cancel the Shade. Uh-oh. With that, the Adepts are going to go down. The Oracles at least clean up a lot of those Lings. So it was a decent trade. We can see 18 Lings for 4 Adepts. RagnaroK goes for a counterattack, but there are Stalkers in position, and oh, RagnaroK's being a little bit greedy, but this time he's going to get away with it. If you remember, when we saw RagnaroK trying to rush into this Hydra Den, he died to an all-in from Nightmare. But this time, MaxPax, he's not going for an all-in. There's no gateway explosion. There's no kind of massive push on the horizon. So RagnaroK should be able to get away with this Hydra Den. So Ling Hydra from RagnaroK is a really good composition against Stalker Oracle specifically. The other added advantage of this composition is that this does set you up for lurkers. If the game goes on longer, if the Protoss player turtles up, if they go for a robo-heavy composition with a lot of disruptors, with Colossus, then lurkers are going to be what RagnaroK wants to work towards. Infestation Bit is on the way. Second Evo Chamber. This is going to be for Fast Hive, for Vipers. Oh, let's go. And lurkers, of course. Meanwhile, the Lings, they're looking for some damage. They don't quite catch a Stalker. I was talking about this mass robo composition. MaxPax is going for it. He makes a second robo, and he's going for double Colossus production. So this is a very defensive style. MaxPax, he's stuck at home. He's not being active. He's not pushing out. He's staying at home here, solidifying his position on 4 bases, and he's going to be building up these Colossus. There's going to be a timing. There's double Colossus, and then there's 4 Colossus. 4 Colossus are going to hit with +2. It's going to be a massive power spike here for the Protoss. And if RagnaroK doesn't have Vipers or Lurkers or both in time for the 4 Colossus timing, then RagnaroK, he's just going to melt. He's just going to roll over. Lings and Hydras, they don't fare well against Mass Colossus at all. Boy. So again, MaxPax is just focusing on defending, just staying back at home. Good snipe on the Overseer, keeping RagnaroK in the dark. Hive is on the way. No Lurker Den yet, but again, Hive will grant access to those Vipers. Lings dip in, forcing a cancel on the shield battery. It's something. Colossus are revealed. I believe RagnaroK saw the Colossus. There it is. Lurker Den is thrown down. So the map is in a way being cut in half. RagnaroK is taking his 5 bases. This 5th is late. This is a late 5th base for RagnaroK. So he doesn't have the best economy behind this. Doesn't have the best production. And here it is. 4 Colossus. We have 3 with the main army. 4th one just now comes out. That is the sweet spot for Protoss in this matchup. Lings are going to be slowing down MaxPax a little bit. And again, RagnaroK needs time. Does he have Vipers? Oh, they just now start. These Vipers, they were delayed. We need them desperately. Here we go. 4 Colossi moving out. +2 is going to finish by the time the push happens. Stalkers are moving out as well. Oh boy, once the Vipers pop out, they still need time to gather energy as well. MaxPax, he has a lot of room to work with. He has a lot of time available to him. That window is closing. Bear that in mind. The window is closing. Lurkers are on the way. A lot of creep is being cleaned up. Do you have a Prism into the main base? The Warp Prism is going to get sniped, but the Zealots do warp in. Army's pushing forward. Lurkers are in position. We're going to be able to hold on at least a little bit, but there's no range. Lurkers, they don't have the Hive upgrades. 1 Lurker, 2 Lurkers are going down. This may just be too much. The Vipers are coming in, but up. We managed to get 2 Abducts. I don't think it's going to be enough. 1 Colossus falls. The second Colossus falls. But there's only one lurker left. There's only one left. MaxPax pushing out. At the same time, a massive counterattack. 17 probes go down. MaxPax is forced to be all in, or committed, I should say. He has to do more damage. Another Yoink comes in. Another Colossus goes down. There's only one Colossus left. Up! The snipe on the Viper. The Colossus will live. RagnaroK is barely holding on, barely mustering up an army. He lost every lurker in the process. He's diving on the last Colossus. He wants it, and he's gonna get it. Barely takes down the Colossus. MaxPax, he just lost the mineral line. He lost every single one of his high-tech units, and RagnaroK, okay, he doesn't keep pushing. He does back off. That was so close. That was such a close defense. That was such a close hold. Quickly checking, I believe, yep, RagnaroK, he has 0 lurkers left, 0 Vipers left as well. He has to rebuild all of his high-tech units. There we go, 7 lurkers are on the way. Likewise, MaxPax also rebuilding his Colossi. But I feel like RagnaroK, he's weathered through the storm. That timing there from MaxPax, that was such a potent, such a powerful push. But from this point on, now we have more Vipers. Now we have lurker upgrades. Lurker range is done. Adaptive Talents is about to finish as well. RagnaroK's army is getting better and better. Well, he catches the High Templar. One High Templar goes down. Just before Storm as well. The Archon gets focused down as well. As MaxPax is pulled over to the left-hand side, we do see another army on the right. Lurker's getting a lot of hits in. This Nexus is going to go down. Massive pickoffs here for RagnaroK. At the same time, we do have a Zealot run by. It looks like drones are going to go down, but RagnaroK, he has reinforcements. He loses 6 drones, but he defends. He knocks MaxPax down to 3 bases. Do have another Zealot run by being set up, but RagnaroK, he's in position with his lurkers. I don't think these Hydras have the DPS to quite focus that Prism, and yeah, the Prism will survive. We have Colossi. We have Storm this time as well. That's a lot of Storms. 5 Storms available here for MaxPax. He actually needs a little bit more time on some of those High Templar. Lurkers are coming in. Do we have enough? Zealots do get dropped into the main base. Lurkers are repositioning. The Vipers are here for those abductions. Zealots are getting they are getting damage done. You can see 6 drones go down. Meanwhile, MaxPax repositioning, looking for another way in. Lurkers, oh, some of them are getting caught out. One lurker goes down for free. RagnaroK, 11 drones went down in the main. That was a lot more economic damage than I thought would happen. We're diving on forward. We get the yoinks off on the Colossi. A lot of Lings went down, but we got what we wanted. We got the Colossus and the High Templar. The drone count here of RagnaroK is not looking too good. But he's going back into droning. Without the Colossi, this Lurker army is that much more powerful. The Lurker Hydra army specifically. So RagnaroK, he is free to drone. MaxPax is double expanding, regaining control of his 4th, taking a 5th. The Zealot run-bys, they don't stop. They even catch a Lurker. Zealots shouldn't do too much here, as RagnaroK is just trying to muster up his economy again. Rebuilding more Lurkers. How many Vipers do we have? 2 Vipers for the time being. And MaxPax trying to get away with this 5th base. A little bit too greedy. Nexus is going to go down. MaxPax not quite in position to defend against them. We do have a couple of Disruptors now, but we have the Vipers to help deal with them. Zealot Rambai trading very well here, getting a couple of Hydras. At the same time, MaxPax trying to keep up with the movement of these Lurkers. He has to be very careful. One Lurker is going to go down. Good connection here as well. And we have a bit of a dance going on. Oh, 2 more Lurkers do fall. We get the feedbacks. Disruptors will survive. Yeah, there were only 2 Vipers, so without the feedbacks, we can see the Protoss army just push on forward. Does RagnaroK have enough to hold on? Up! Massive Nova goes off. Despite that, RagnaroK is holding on. Needs to wait for those Vipers to gather up energy once again. Again, without Vipers, you can't really keep up with the disruptors here of MaxPax. The Vipers, they came back too soon. We need energy, Pop. We need energy. What were you guys doing? Yeah, I feel like RagnaroK may be overextending a little bit here. Oh, another lurker goes down. RagnaroK, he's just bleeding out units left and right. As MaxPax is going to shut down this army. If only when the Viper showed up. Again, it's too soon. Where's the energy? Aye. Regardless of pushing in. With our 3 lurkers. With Mass Hydra, to be fair. And RagnaroK, he still has a supply lead anyway. He still may just barely have too much. The 4th base goes down, and that is all that RagnaroK needed. Now he can go back, and now he can gather up that energy again. So even though RagnaroK's going to be losing some of these units, it's already paid for itself. He's already done the damage that he was looking for. As RagnaroK is running away with this. There we go. Suck back. Viper's just sucking down that building, that hatchery. Getting ready for their abductions. MaxPax trying to take control of the center base instead. Really risky base to expand to. Oh, we'll be forced to cancel. And now RagnaroK has so much freedom to rebuild his lurkers. Push on forward. Oh, the feedbacks! Once again, the Vipers aren't really going to take part in the next fight. But it doesn't even matter. RagnaroK going for a Hydra run by Hero towards the left. RagnaroK may lose this hatchery. Massive storm in the mineral line. Oh my god. Takes down the lurkers. Takes down a lot of the drones as well. But MaxPax just doesn't have enough. Cheat. GG gets called, and RagnaroK will take game number 1. GG. Boy, that was a pretty intense game. It's pretty intense, especially when it came to that 4 Colossus timing. That 4 Colossus timing with +2, it hits so hard, and RagnaroK barely held on. He barely held on by the skin of his teeth with his lurkers, with his abductions, with his Vipers. And it was from that moment, after RagnaroK held that first big Colossus push, and after the Colossus count was reset, from that moment, RagnaroK was in a pretty, I don't know if I would say comfortable, but he was getting into his comfort zone, I should say. He was settling on in, getting his bases up and running, refining his army. The pressure was on MaxPax to make something happen instead, and we saw once the momentum was in RagnaroK's favor, he just was so on point when it came to sniping bases, denying nexuses, getting economic damage done, keeping MaxPax on the back foot. And now we're diving into game number 2. Here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Europe, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Oh boy, that was again pretty intense. So the style that MaxPax went for, going for that double Robo Colossus production, I don't think we're going to see it here. I don't see it working on Ancient Cistern. The power behind that push is just that window, that timing that you have, where you have your 4 Colossi, where you have that upgrade advantage. And on a map like Dragon Scales, that's kind of, there's kind of like a boost or even more momentum given to you because of the short rush distance. Because the map is small. Because the map is so small, that push hits so much harder. Ancient Cistern is a larger map. It's a bit of a larger map. It's a little bit more wide open as well. It's difficult to make these grand pushes work without getting surrounded. The angles aren't anywhere near as potent as on Dragon Scales, or some of these other maps, I should say. So I imagine MaxPax is going to be going for a different kind of outlook of the mid game here in Game 2. I imagine both players will be adapting here to Ancient Cistern. Here we go. So far, just a gate expand coming out from MaxPax, so an economic opener. Likewise, RagnaroK going for a hatch gas pool. Very standard stuff as well. Nothing too crazy here in the early game. It's all about the mid game. Now, on a map like Ancient Cistern, it actually isn't a bad choice to go for something like an 8 gates, like an 8-gate 3-base all-in, just because when you go for that kind of build, you rely a lot more on proxy gateways, so it doesn't matter how large the map is, your reinforcements do hit across the map at the same speed as a small map, so we could see MaxPax try to be aggressive in that nature. But for now, Stargate opener, so everything, again, still looking quite normal. What else could we see out of MaxPax? We could be seeing a much more normal Blink Stalker opener into, Oracle into a third base, into Blink Stalkers, hero style, just a lot of aggression. Would be fun to see that on Ancient Cistern, would be fun. Because this map is so large, it isn't a bad choice to go for Skytoss, as much as I don't want to see ZVP late game Skytoss. This isn't a bad map for it, isn't a bad map at all. So we could see MaxPax turtle back at home, work on his 3 bases, work on his 4th base, and instead of... Oh boy. And instead of going into Robo production, he could go into Stargate production. For now, Void Ray first. Very interesting. Void Ray first from MaxPax. With this, RagnaroK, he's going to be aware of the Stargate opener, but he's not going to be aware of the follow-up. He has to be very, very persistent here with his link scouting. He needs to figure out if the third base is delayed. He needs to figure out as well, if possible, if there's going to be a Twilight Council behind this for Glavedeps. So MaxPax is going to be keeping RagnaroK in the dark. Overlord is going to go down. Oh, even supply blocking RagnaroK as well. Ay, ay, ay. And there is that Twilight Council. There are additional gateways as well. This is looking like Glavedeps. Again, this is what is dangerous about this build. We have a third base being taken. Everything looks normal, except for what's in the main. And what's in the main is what is missing. There is no Forge. There is no Forge for MaxPax. No Robo either. He has 2 gates in the main base, 2 gates here at the natural. See what upgrade he goes for. Yep, there it is. Glavedeps. So the goal here for MaxPax is to catch RagnaroK with his pants down. Oracle dips in, gets a little bit of damage done. He's hoping that RagnaroK skips the Roach Warren. If RagnaroK skips the Roach Warren, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. There we go. He does throw it down here at around the 4-minute 45 mark. Not a bad timing for the Roach Warren. So he will have access to Roaches in the defense. We have a lair on the way. Thankfully, RagnaroK isn't blindly going into Hydras. If he skipped the Roach Warren, he would just die. It would be over. As RagnaroK is trying to figure out what is going on. Now, this is pretty committed out of MaxPax. If these adepts don't do any damage, he's going to be in a really rough position. The reason why? There's no Forge, there's no upgrades, delayed blink, delayed charge. A lot of his tech is delayed. A lot of the mid-game tech is delayed in favor of these Glaive adepts. And here we go, the adepts are shading across the map. They do get spotted by the Lings. Roaches are on the way. RagnaroK, he's even walling off here at the natural. Very smart move here out of RagnaroK. Has to only focus on defending his third. Oh, he's a little bit premature here with his Lings. He's going to lose a lot of them. Adepts do commit to shade 4. Drones do go down. Can we wall off in time? The answer, oh, we barely do. Only 4 drones for the time being. Evo chamber was thrown down to keep these adepts at bay. We have a secondary wall, just barely being thrown down. Decent target firing from those queens. Lings and roaches are coming up, but the adepts, they shade in. Oh, and more drones are falling. Is this enough damage though? Once this last adept does go down, looking at the units lost tab, that was 11 adepts for 8 drones. I don't think that was enough. Oh, never mind. Ay, that was a kill, not a cancel. 300 minerals down the drain. RagnaroK, a little bit of a slip up towards the end there. He does already have a lair. He does have roach speed on the way. But that was a big loss for RagnaroK. MaxPax now is ahead economically. And he's catching up in the upgrades. He's working on +1, working on Blink. Getting his 4th base as well at the same time as the Zerg. Again, that kill was massive. And now the pressure is on RagnaroK. He needs to try to deny the space. He needs to try to deny this 4th. He cannot just allow it to get up and running. We can see that actually RagnaroK is working towards a Spire. So Mutaplay is going to be coming out. Interesting choice. Very interesting. Ling Scouts confirms the saturation of the 3rd. Did RagnaroK see the 4th? He did. He did see the 4th base. And there we go. Lings are on the way. RagnaroK is going to try to force a cancel, but we already have a shield battery on the way. We'll see if he can pull it off. As the main army is rocking up, Ravager's finishing up just in time. As MaxPax is getting his 4th base cancelled, likewise, MaxPax is here to cancel the 4th of RagnaroK. Adepts, they shade in at the same time. They're not going to get too much damage. Yo, but these Stalkers, we have a massive warp in behind this. MaxPax is getting out of control. He takes down one of the Ravagers. He takes down every single Ravager. And this push may just be too much. Good target firing on the Oracle at least. But roaches are going down. These are expensive losses for RagnaroK. On top of that, the 4th base is kept alive for MaxPax. And yeah, he's defending and he's attacking at the same time. We have reinforcements trickling on in, but these are not good trades for RagnaroK. Not good trades at all. But he has to. He can't lose the 4th again. Yeah, and MaxPax, he's snowballing out of control. Takes down the 4th for a second time. GG gets called. And MaxPax ties up the series 1-1. Oh, GG. So the answer is yes, he was able to do enough damage with his adepts. The adepts themselves didn't really get too many drone kills. I think losing 8 workers is pretty acceptable for RagnaroK, but losing the 4th, getting a kill on the 4th base, that was brutal. That was a brutal loss for RagnaroK. That doesn't just slow down his economy, that also slows down his production as well. And suddenly, MaxPax, he was in a better economic position from that moment. And he was able to snowball into that push, into that victory. Just not allowing RagnaroK to get into that 4-base saturation. GG. GG, well played. We have a series. We have a back and forth. We have a series before us. Here we go. We are getting into the next game. And we'll see what MaxPax goes for this time. So we've seen a lot from MaxPax so far. And typically if we go for these builds, like in game 1, he went for the double Robo Colossus production. Game 2, he went for the Void Ray into Glaive Adepts. We shouldn't be seeing these builds again this series. We shouldn't be. We'll see. As we are getting into game number 3 and spawning. Oh, let's have to push these guys up. There we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. Stumbling a little bit there in that last game. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Tying up the series 1-1. We will not have a 3-0 in either direction. We won't have a one-sided series. We have a back and forth. You love to see it. You love to see it. Oh boy, and now we're on Royal Blood. Oh boy, this map can lead to a lot of aggression. This, again, is not a bad map for an 8-gate. I feel like we're going to see it at some point this series. As for now, MaxPax is just going to be scouting across the map. RagnaroK getting his hatchery down on location, hatch gas pool. Nothing too crazy. Economic opener out of RagnaroK once again. Likewise, a gate expand from MaxPax. So nothing crazy in the openers, and I don't really expect to see anything too crazy. Even though RagnaroK, he's kind of known for being aggressive and he's known for being a little bit quirky, I don't expect him to go for like a 12 pool or like a proxy hatch or 13-12 or a roach rush. I know, it's not really his style. Not really his style. Oh my god, as he's going for a very fast third base, my god. So RagnaroK, he skips his queens. He skips his first and his second queen here in favor of a very fast third. Interesting. I'm very curious how many drones we're going to make. He's going to have a lot of lava to work with really early on. Is he willing to Ling Flood? I'm curious. Very curious. As now the queens are on the way. Going to be able to saturate our bases. Back at home, MaxPax is going for a Stargate opener. So everything's normal from MaxPax. From RagnaroK, everything was normal until how quickly he took that third. This is going to impact RagnaroK's overall creep. Here we go. He's going to now spread his first tumor. RagnaroK is continuing to drone. So this could just be just a more greedy variation here for RagnaroK that he wanted to go for. He's going to be happily droning behind this, working on link speed, pulling out of gas. Just being safe. Okay. Meanwhile, once again, a Void Ray opener from MaxPax. Oh my god. I'm curious. So, once again, this Void Ray is going to allow MaxPax to do whatever he wants unscouted. It means that RagnaroK is going to be in the dark. This doesn't mean it's going to be Glaive Adepts again. But RagnaroK doesn't know that. He doesn't know what MaxPax is going to be doing. So, this is a good way to just even play mind games as well. And play standard behind it. And, you know, just be in the head of your opponent. As the Void Ray is coming out. I think what's really interesting about this as well is that it looks like MaxPax is also really respecting RagnaroK's defensive play. After game 1, if you remember, the Oracles of MaxPax and the Adept Harass didn't really do anything. MaxPax, he couldn't really do anything against RagnaroK in the early game with his Adept and Oracle Harass, so skip it. Oh no. God, we're going into Sky Toss. That's 2 more Stargates on the way. I'm feeling a mass Void Ray. MaxPax going to be, yeah, mixing it up once again. And as I said before, I expect MaxPax to do something different every game. I expect him to do something different every single game. And here going for triple Stargate Phoenix production is wild. Who did this recently? I think Australia. Did this recently. I remember casting him during the qualifiers of the Africa Champions Cup. So here we go. Mass Phoenixes are on the way. RagnaroK needs to figure out what's going on so we can get some anti-air. A good reaction and a response to this will be Hydras. A good Hydra count, Lingbane Hydra would be ideal. But again, RagnaroK needs to figure out what's going on. He needs to scout. Oh my god. As we're going for something a little bit different. We have Overlord. Okay, we have Overlord speed on the way. Third base is scouted here by a Ling. Overlord speed will help with an Overseer, but we still don't really have any anti-air available. Lair is still on the way. Lings are going to be checking across the map. And they're going to see very little when it comes to the army. I see an Adept here and there. This is all very suspect. Dropper Lords are upon us. Oh my god, we're going all in. I was curious if I was really curious if Overlord Speed was just going to be for scouting or if it was going to be for a big all-in. And here we go. The Queens are being loaded up. Roaches and Lings are flooding across the map. How will this dynamic work? Because the Phoenixes, they're here. They reveal themselves. Oh, there's not enough Queens. Every single Queen is going to go down. And that just takes the wind out of the sails of this push. We do see, though, RagnaroK across the map. He's getting us around on what little there is on the ground. He's getting on top of the shield battery. Getting on top of the shield battery. The overcharge does run out. Probes are falling. RagnaroK, he will take control of the third base. Phoenixes are coming back home. But Phoenixes are not ideal against Lings. Lings are going to get all the pylons. I don't know if the Lings are going to get the Nexus, though. It's going to be close. Adepts are arriving. Behind this, we're going for a Spire. Bold move. Meanwhile, MaxPax is transitioning to Sky Toss. We have +1 air attack on the way. Void Rays as well. The Nexus will barely go down. MaxPax even getting supply blocked. Oh, that's a massive supply block, actually. Oh my god, he's got 4 pylons on the way. Nexus as well. MaxPax, he can't make any Void Rays. He's trying to. Well, he's trying to make Phoenixes, to be fair. Meanwhile, across the map, we can see him harassing, taking down a lot of drones. Yeah, 1 spore is not enough. Oh, but all these Queens are. As RagnaroK is looking solid here on his 3 bases. Could do with a 4th, especially after killing the 3rd of his opponent. Meanwhile, Phoenixes are continuing to be produced here for MaxPax. Corruptors on the way. Good Arc is set up as well. We can see MaxPax is trying to force a delay on that 4th base. He wants that drone up. Will pick it up as well. The Void Rays have arrived and the Queens are all getting lifted, and it looks like the Queens are going to go down. There are just far too many Phoenixes. And I don't think there are enough Corruptors. MaxPax may just snowball out of control with all these Phoenixes. He's got a couple of spores getting set up, and it looks like with those spores, RagnaroK is trying to hold on desperately. But he just doesn't have enough. Yeah, earlier we just needed more spores. We needed more spores in position. The main is looking exposed. Corruptors are going down one after the other. RagnaroK getting heavily supply blocked, and he never got a 4th base. He can't make anything. He's supply blocked. And with mass Phoenixes, MaxPax is going to be able to take the game. GG gets called. MaxPax takes the lead in this series. GG. GG, well played. See in chat, Roddy would be in awe right now. Would be in awe. Mass Phoenix here from MaxPax. Does catch RagnaroK completely off guard. As I say that, I do think that RagnaroK was actually in a better position after killing the 3rd. It was just that he didn't take the Mass Phoenixes seriously enough. He needed more Spore Crawlers. Not just Queens, but multiple Spores in each base, in between the bases as well, to defend against that. And yeah, RagnaroK, he just was caught off guard. Wasn't really expecting that unit composition to come out from MaxPax, and now we're getting into our next game. We're getting into game 4. And once again, I expect MaxPax to do something different as well. I expect him to keep up here with the different builds and with the different compositions. Yeah, I don't think standard play is what we're going to be seeing. Let's go. Love that MaxPax went from cheesy to also include a lot of different builds. Sure has evolved a lot as a player. Yeah, that's I think that's a really good strength, specifically for PvZ. I think that's the strongest suit here of Protoss players in this matchup, is to be able to vary it up, because once you take down the Overlords, there's just so much available to the Protoss that they can do, and it's on the Zerg player to scout. And we saw that last game, RagnaroK, he didn't even try to. He had the option to. He was going for his own all-in. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. Down in this series, he needs to win this game to tie it up. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. One game away from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. One game away. But yeah, there is a lot of variety here, especially in the mid game for the Protoss, and I think what the last game just showed us is that MaxPax he's willing to do almost anything, and I do think that this is going to be, this is like a really strong matchup for him. I'm not talking about PvZ, I'm talking about PV RagnaroK. The problem is that RagnaroK, as we saw last game, he's usually the one being aggressive. He's usually the one kind of dictating the pace of the game. He's not known for his scouting. He's not known for reacting necessarily to his opponents. He wants to be in the driver's seat, and against a player like MaxPax, it's difficult to really do that. So we'll see. We'll see how RagnaroK approaches this. We'll see how he adapts here to his opponent. What I'm saying is, if we have another Void Ray opener, if we have another denial of the initial Overlord, I'm hoping that RagnaroK focuses a lot more on trying to figure out what's going on. We'll see, though. We'll see. We are on Neo Humanity. If there was a game to go into late game, if there was a game to go all the way into late game PvZ, I do think this is a good map for it, for the Protoss. Neo Humanity, it's a really good defensive map. A lot of choke points, a lot of places where you can wall off. We have seen so many late game matches here on Neo Humanity, and we'll see if MaxPax takes advantage of that. We'll see. We have a Stargate opener once again from MaxPax. We'll see if he goes for another Void Ray or if he goes into Oracles. Meanwhile, RagnaroK taking the Triangular Third. Here on Neo Humanity, the Zerg player has options. They can go for the Triangular Third, they can go for the Linear Third, or they can go for that forward third base to kind of launch your creep across the map. And if he did take this centered base, then that could be the beginning of a Roach all-in. But we do see a more standard base taken here instead. There it is, Void Ray first once again. Once again, MaxPax is shutting down the first Overlord and keeping RagnaroK in the dark. And the question becomes, is RagnaroK going to... how does he react to this? What does he change here? Is he going to try and roll the dice and go for his own all-in again, go for his own push? Is he going to rush into a lair and go for a fast Overseer scout? As the Overlord dips in and is going to be met by this Void Ray. Now we can see this is looking pretty normal. It's going to be a Void Ray first into an Oracle. There's no additional Stargates, no Phoenixes, third base is on the way. Now RagnaroK should be active momentarily with his Lings, and he should get eyes on the third, but just because it's a third doesn't mean that it's normal play. Behind this we can go into a fast Twilight Council. We already saw Void Ray into Glaive Adepts. Earlier, it was on Ancient Cistern. We could see that again. Not this time. Third base is spotted by the Ling, and it is going to be a Forge and a Twilight Council. This is a very standard setup here from MaxPax. 4+1 and either Blink or Charge. So nothing too crazy, nothing overly aggressive this time. MaxPax is going to be calming things down. Now, because MaxPax only made one Void Ray and one Oracle, it means that he can't really harass too much. He can't really threaten the the mineral lines of RagnaroK. But I mentioned this earlier. After game one, I don't think he wants to. Like, we saw how on point RagnaroK was with his Queen movement. And as I say that, he's going to lose a drone. He's going to lose 2 drones. Very nicely done. Yeah, the Queens were a little bit distracted by that Void Ray. And it is going to be Charge instead. Oof. Oh boy. Charge and +1. So, in a couple of seconds, we should be seeing a Templar Archives. We should be seeing a Templar Archives for High Templar and for Archons. And MaxPax, it looks like he's setting up for a very powerful, a very strong Charge Archon push. There it is. There's that Templar Archives on the way. So the way this works is that the Gateway is going to finish up first. We're going to warp in a massive wave of Zealots. The Prism moves out across the map. We have the robot for the Prism. And we warp in 2 to maybe even 4 Archons on the front lines, and we just commit to the push. And this can snowball out of control. Do you see the links here of RagnaroK just trying to keep up with what's going on? We have a Roach Warren on the way, +1 melee as well. Oh, these Zeps are getting a lot of damage done. Good positioning here. Behind that Spore Crawler, gets 4 drones. Oh, it's a lot of drones. Meanwhile, there's that Prism that we were talking about. Again, we're just going to be warping in as many Zealots as we can. We're going to be pushing out, and we're going to be warping in those High Templar as well. Oh, there we go. High Templar actually get warped in back at home. There we go. Archons are on the way. Now, we'll see if MaxPax decides to hit with +1, because +1 is about to finish up. And there we go. MaxPax is pushing out. Now, back at home, thankfully, RagnaroK didn't go into Hydras. He went for a Roach Warren, so Ling Roach Ravager is the composition you want to defend against this. He has 10 Roaches on the way. With a handful of Ravagers, he should be fine. Especially because he's even slowing this down. He gets eyes on the Prism. MaxPax takes a 4th base behind this. This push can maybe trade a little bit, but it shouldn't get out of hand. Oh, I appreciate this though. We have a Zealot run by being set up on the left-hand side. MaxPax going to try and pull apart the attention of his opponent. Prism into the main. Main army going to be pressuring the 4th, and a Zealot run by on the left-hand side. A tri-pronged attack here from MaxPax. Oh, the Queens are in position. Prism goes down. At the same time, Bailing Run-By does connect here in the middle line. 7 probes go down. Zealot Run-By does push in, but the reinforcements are keeping up. RagnaroK, he defends all 3 attacks, and he counterattacks at the same time. RagnaroK is in a pretty good position. Aye. He's in a pretty good position after that, and here we go. Now it's time for RagnaroK to be the aggressor. The rocks are being knocked down. Ravagers should be morphed in. We have Lings coming in to reinforce. RagnaroK cutting workers here at 74. And he is just full-on aggression. Suddenly, the pendulum swings in favor of RagnaroK. Oh, Disruptors are here. Up. Oh, God. First Nova goes off. Good connection here, shaving off, I want to say, three Roaches. We have a second Disruptor as well. Even though MaxPax has a small army, it's a very high quality army. With Disruptors, with these Protoss Spores, mate, you can do a lot. You can achieve a lot with these Disruptors. Good hold position micro from those Zealots as well, taking down some of those drones. RagnaroK is forced back. He has to transition. Infestation Pit is on the way. Hive is on the way. 2 Disruptors do push RagnaroK back, and they're giving MaxPax a lot of breathing room. They allow him to get this 4th base up and running. Again, this is the power of Neo-Humanity. Because of these choke points, it's so difficult to commit to a push. If RagnaroK tries to push into any of these locations, because of the narrow pathways, like these Novas, they get such good connections. RagnaroK is aware of that. He's backing off. He's expanding, taking more bases. Now, RagnaroK is the first to max out. Massive Bailing Run-By is being set up. Can MaxPax keep up with this? Oh, uh-oh. Big Nova goes off once again on Bailings and Roaches. Very good connections here from MaxPax. But at the same time, the Bailings are rolling on in. Can they find the connections they're looking for? They can. 12 probes go down. RagnaroK just keeping a handle here on the economy of MaxPax. Another Bailing Run-By is being set up on the right-hand side. No, sorry, just a Ling counterattack. The wall's not a wall! No! The wall is not a wall. It is left wide open. The Lings, they flood into the natural. They flood into the main. The main army of MaxPax pushing on forward. Oh, he's going to be losing a lot of probes here. And he pushes into a Zerg army that's just waiting for him. Oh! Good Nova. Once again. Very good Novas, but 21 probes go down. MaxPax, ay. His economy not looking too hot. Not looking too good. Meanwhile, the main army of MaxPax is still looking terrifying, but it just wasn't enough to push on through, to push up the ramp into creep. We go Prism slipping into the natural base. RagnaroK not quite in position here. Damage is going to be done. Ooh, the entire army does react. That is going to create an opening here for MaxPax. Uh-oh. Here we go. Zealots over towards the right. Prism into the main. The Warp Prism is going to go down. Oh, the Warp in barely finishes. As MaxPax pushes through the center. We can see RagnaroK. He wants to try to dive on this, but the Novas keep him at bay. The Zealots buying MaxPax so much time, distracting the army, but here we go. We dive in. Oh, massive connections. It looks like the Disruptors are going to go down. A very good fight here for RagnaroK. Now, he is losing drones across the map, but he just completely annihilated the army here of MaxPax. He's down 100 supply. Looking at that trade, MaxPax, he lost 5 Archons, 3 Disruptors, and his Warp Prism. And once again, RagnaroK, he has momentum on his side. Now, does he have enough to break his opponent? Disruptors are moving out. Oh! Good connection once again. RagnaroK is up heavily in supply, but this is a pretty big defender's advantage. Can RagnaroK surpass that? Coming in from multiple angles, I do think he can. There's only 2 Disruptors. If there were more Disruptors, then maybe MaxPax can hold, but here we go. RagnaroK is coming in mainly from the right-hand side. Not the best split push. Yeah, he is being forced back. MaxPax is holding. The power of neo-humanity. And to be fair, the positioning as well of MaxPax. With cannons, with shield batteries, with overcharge. He's getting his Colossus out. Now, RagnaroK has recognized what's been keeping him at bay, what's been winning MaxPax these fights or keeping him alive. It's the Disruptors. We have Vipers on the way. The Vipers are on the way. They are the answer to the Disruptor. It's taken a while to get into this. Has taken a while. But the Vipers are now arriving. And the problem is that we don't really have too much to stop the Vipers. Typically, we would have High Templar for feedbacks or Stalkers with their blinks. We have a couple of Stalkers, but not too many. We don't have enough Stalkers to snipe Vipers and to zone them away. Not yet. As RagnaroK has remaxed. Storm on the horizon as well. As the game goes on, MaxPax is getting into a better and better position, to be honest. RagnaroK, he's stuck on a very mid-game composition, and he hasn't been able to do anything with it. We can see here the army of MaxPax just becoming higher and higher quality. Yeah, RagnaroK, he's going to have to go to the late game. We have a Greater Spire on the way. Broodlords on the way as well. Vipers doing what they can. They do get one of the Colossus. Solid feedbacks, though. But the PvZ roll on in. Looks like the Disruptors are going to go down. Oh, the base as well. Oh, or is it? MaxPax, he holds on. Does hold on to the Nexus. Does force back the Zerg army. Banelings are about to break out of that stasis. Can they connect? Oh, not quite. They don't quite connect. MaxPax has momentum. He's pushing out across the map. This hatchery very low is going to go down. And it looks like MaxPax has too much. RagnaroK, that was just too poor of a fight that he took earlier. And RagnaroK is, oh god, at death's door. He's trying to remax. He's trying to rebuild. RagnaroK, he's out of gas. And it looks like MaxPax is busting on through. The storms are here. The storms, oh my god, they blanket everything. And MaxPax with this counterattack is going to take down not just one base, but the second base as well. RagnaroK, he fought hard. He almost came back here. He had a couple of moments in this game where he was ahead and he was at a certain advantage. But alas, no longer. Again, never able to make use of that Greater Spire. Never able to get into Broodlords. Hatchery does go down. GG gets called, and MaxPax is going to be this week's ESL Open Cup Korea champion. GG, or Asia champion. GG, well played. Oh, MaxPax. Oh, sorry. Apparently I had the wrong score. What? GG, well played. MaxPax will take the series here. Hold on, that's not correct. Can we fix that? There we go. MaxPax will take the series 3-1, becoming ESL Open Cup number 186 Asia champion. GG, well played. RagnaroK, he went for the classic Zerg mistake there. I don't know if I want to call it a mistake too much, but RagnaroK, it took him a long time to take up into Hive. We saw that for a long time, after MaxPax lost the initial momentum, after he lost the initial fight when he was trying to go for the tri-pronged attack, he very quickly went into Disruptors. As soon as we see the Disruptors, RagnaroK, he needed to go into Vipers. Instead, he decided to max out on Lingbane Roach Ravager, and he kept trying to break the defenses. He kept trying to bust into the 4th, or bust into the 3rd, or bust into the natural, and it just wasn't working. He was getting a couple of worker kills here and there, yes, but over time, MaxPax, like, again, was able to shore up his defenses and bounce back. It took a lot longer for RagnaroK to actually get into Hive Tech, into Vipers, to shut that down. By the time he did, there were already Colossus, there were already High Templar, there was already feedbacks. Like, RagnaroK did miss his window, and by the time he realized that the window was missed, then he was taking him into like Broodlords and into the Greater Spire, but it was just too late. It was just too late at that point. Invested too much too early on, and GG, well played. Congratulations to MaxPax for becoming this week's champion. GG. And my condolences to RagnaroK. What I will say, though, is that I do think that RagnaroK was a good challenger. I think that he made for a fun finals. Even though it was a 3-1 score, a lot of these games were very close, very entertaining. So I do think that, yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope everyone got the most they wanted out of this as well. GG, well played. Personally, I would have liked an ace match. I would have liked for it to go all the way to game 5. I wanted more out of MaxPax and RagnaroK, but you know what? We'll settle with the 3-1. We'll settle with the 3-1, and we can get those predictions sorted. Get them sorted. Oh. And with that, that is the end of this tournament. That is not the end of the broadcast, though. Not the end of the broadcast. Hold on, I gotta slip into some DMs. Gotta figure things out. So, we finished up just in time for our next tournament. I was worried that we were gonna miss the first series. I was worried that we were gonna miss the first series, but it is 10:30 p.m., 10:35 p.m. here in the land of Australia, and OSC King of the Hill is about to begin. If you are unfamiliar with this tournament format, it is a King of the Hill style format. 15 players. 15 players step in, and it's nothing but best of ones. Best of ones. The winner stays on, the loser is eliminated from the tournament, and they are replaced by another player and another player and another player until we work through all 15 of them. All 15. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I'm also going to be joined by a co-caster in an hour or so. I'm going to be joined by another caster. So I'm going to need a moment here to get ready. I'm going to need a moment to set up and get ready here for our next cast. I also need to figure out what server I need to be on as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed the tournament, if you enjoyed the broadcast, and if you are unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft, then stick around, because we have more StarCraft. We have more StarCraft ahead of us. Ooh, let's go. Also, a massive shout out to Babylings. Massive shout out to Baby. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome to the conclusion of ESL Asia and to the beginning of OSC King of the Hill. We're going to be going for a short break. And I'm going to very quickly set up all the overlays. I need to set up the overlays. I need to restart the stream as well, so we can start it up with a different delay. And we'll see you soon. See you soon.